Hello, all of you. Welcome to the workshop today. We shall start because we need to respect the time that all of you have been here on time. Maybe as and when people join in, we shall just admit them into the workshop room so that they can also be a part of it. From my end here, I have just put all of yours on mute just to make sure that you're able to hear me clearly. The chat window is of course open. As and when time permits, I shall take up a few questions because the idea is to share as much as possible in terms of activities for you as participants. You are parents, you are educators, so we want to make sure that we are able to give you as much as possible during this period of time. So I think we always start with an introduction, right? So I need to introduce myself. So I am Bhuvaneshwari Raman. I've recently completed half a century. I've been in the K-12 domain for more than 3 decades, and I have trained more than MMMCM teachers across the country as well as the Middle East. I am square root of 25 feet tall, and I have visited about 2 cubed countries. Well, I can see all the puzzled look on each of your faces, and all of you are wondering what kind of an introduction is she giving us? Well, today we are in a workshop, and all that we're talking about is math is all around us. And if math is all around us, I think the introduction too has to be something which is appropriate for that, and that is why we had a matho introduction here. Just give me a minute. I have people waiting in the waiting room. Let me just admit them in. You may have to excuse me for this because there are people who have registered have been more than 70 plus. So I'll just have to get them in as and when they join it. Okay, great. So we said that, yes, it was a matho introduction. We are talking about math is all around us. So the entire idea of why we basically are looking at this particular topic is when we ask children, what is math in your life? You know, we ask them. And are you all able to see the screen? Just with your show of thumbs, if you can just show me whether you're able to see the screen, that will be great. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. So we asked them, you know, what is math in your life, and what do you think math is all about? Oh, the answers they've come up is something which we have put in here. Math is difficult. Math is everywhere. Math is a love-hate relationship. Math is challenging, and math is boring. Oh, math is intimidating. So for me as an educator, it's been my endeavor to make sure that we make math fun. And how do we make math fun? It's through engaging the children in hands-on activities. I strongly believe that a lot of learning happens through play. It need not have to stop with the early years. So learning through play, hands-on activity is something which I strongly believe in. And today at this workshop, I've taken up some concepts like, you know, fractions, geometry, maybe data handling, and giving you some kind of examples on how exactly we can make these subjects or concepts more fun-based for the children so that they will remember it for life. They will remember it for life and they'll be able to apply it into your life too. So we have one more person joining us. Yeah, that's great. So without wasting any more time, I think all of you were told that you just keep a sheet of paper with you and some color pens with you, etc., writing material. So let's start with writing your name on that sheet of paper. Can you all just write down your name on that sheet of paper? For those of you who have just joined in, we just finished with an introduction and we're talking about math is all around us. And we are going to be dealing with a lot of activities where we can explain concepts like say fractions, geometry, data handling. Just pick up a paper and a pen or pencil that you have with you and please write your name. For those of you who joined in late, this is the instruction that has been given to the participants. So this is my name. So I said, when I'm asking you to do it, I also need to be participative. So my short name, my name is Bhuvaneshwari Raman. So instead of putting that, I put my short name, which is Bhuvana, Bhuvana. So the question that you can ask your children is, how many letters does your name have? So each one of you can write out the number of letters in your name. And from that, if you've seen that I've highlighted the ones which are vowels. Here you have U, you have A, and you have A, which have been highlighted as vowels. So I have vowels are 3 parts out of the 7 parts in my name. So the fraction of vowels in my name is 3/7. So each one of you can calculate the fraction of vowels in your name. You can ask your children to calculate the vowels in their name and also the consonants. So the children initially, those of them who are not introduced to the concept of fraction, will count the consonants saying, okay, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. For those of them who have been introduced into the concept of fraction, this is a workshop where we are not talking about introducing the concepts, but about activities, how you can engage with the children and help them understand a lot more. I have, audio on mute for all of you, but just in case those of you who are joining in, please kindly make sure that your audio is on mute so that you're able to hear me better. Yeah, so the vowels are 3 parts out of the 7, and consonants, as I told you, initially they will start counting it out, but then later on they will understand that the remaining are the consonants. So it is 7 minus 3, which is 4 parts of the 7. Children will go around in their homes, and especially now being the lockdown period, so you can keep them gainfully engaged by saying that, okay, whose fraction of vowels is more in our home? Let's make a comparison. So those of them who know, yes, how do I compare fractions, can go ahead and compare fractions. For those children who do not know how to compare fractions, give them those words which are of the same length or the number of letters is the same. For example, in the next one, this is with respect to the name, so nothing better than starting with what you know about yourself. So take up things which are all around your home. For example, the television, comparison of the television with the radio. So which one of these has a greater fraction of vowels in them? Characters like a Donald versus a Mickey. Planets versus, like for example, I've just taken up Jupiter versus Neptune. You can take up any planets. You can take up fruits. If they are the little ones, you can talk about apple versus peach or any other fruit or animal, whichever you feel that they are able to relate to. Always take up examples where the children are able to relate to. So we have television versus radio. Prima facie, it looks like, wow, television is a big word. Yes, I know. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there seems to be 10 letters. And in fact, I see a lot of E, lot of I, lot of O. So maybe the fraction of vowels in the television is definitely much more than the radio. No harm in thinking about it, but let's now get to understanding on how do we do it. So here, if you see, I have got television, which is written here. And television has got 5/10 as vowels. I mean, this is something you can do it yourself on your notepad, but I've just got this for you to have a look at it. Radio has got altogether 5 letters, of which 3 of them are vowels. I hope this is clear. Then you talk about, yes, a 5/10 vis-a-vis a 3/5. Which one is the one which is more? Are they like fractions firstly? So concepts like fractions, unlike fractions, etc. are dealt with. And then you say, no, like fractions are when the denominator has to be the same. So how do I convert 3/5 into something with the denominator 10? I multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. And then I have a 6/10. And actually you will see that radio has got a higher fraction or a greater fraction of vowels compared to a television. Allow children to explore, allow children to do it themselves. I think the more they get into this, I think they will be able to understand this better. So like I have got these concepts here, which are like fractions, unlike fractions, equivalent fractions, comparing fractions are some things which you can do with this kind of an exercise. With a show of hands, can you tell me, I mean, are you in agreement or you're not in agreement with a show down of hands? Are you in agreement, parents, teachers? Yes, a few of them I can definitely see. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. So this is something which you're looking at, things which are all around. So there are also a few parents who have children who are in the age group of 5 years, 7 years, etc. So they said that, I mean, they may not know too much about fractions. So how do we deal with it? So I thought I'll give a few examples for them to take cutouts, different cutouts, of course, with origami sheet of paper, or you could do it with chart paper, or you could do it with A4 size white paper and ask them to color it out. Make 2 of each shape. So one shape remains as is. The other shape is basically where you have folded it into 2 and cut it out. So you will have one portion here and one portion kept here. Now ask them, this one portion fits in how much of the original shape. So this is one, and you will have the other one which is on top. So each one of them is 1 by 2. This could be with shapes which they are familiar with, like a circle, or you could do it with something like a square. And then say, okay, here I have folded it into 4 portions and I have one portion here, and ask them how much is this of this particular shape. So they will say, okay, there is 1 here, and of course the remaining cutouts, they place it and they understand that there are 4 cutouts altogether, and each one is 1 portion of the 4. So here this is 1 by 4. And introduce them to terminology like 1 by 2 is half, 1 by 4 is a quarter, etc. And also shapes like these. These are hexagon. So ask them to cut them into different shapes. Like for example, I've folded them into 2 different patterns to show you an example. I have made this into this particular shape and 2 of these. So this is one, and I have another one which fits in here. So you can ask them, each one of these is 1 portion of the 2 that occupy the hexagon. So this is 1 by 2. But now most of the examples I've given is 1 by 2, 1 by 4, etc. Can we introduce, say, 1 by 3 and other things too? Yes, you can. You can always have multiple options available to introduce them to these. For example, you have this particular cutout, and here I place this, which is like a diamond shape. I place another one alongside, and I place the third one here. And this becomes, each of them is 1 portion of the 3, 1, 2, and 3 that they occupy. So each one of them is 1 by 3. So even small children can be introduced to concepts like fractions, a quarter, half, 1/3, etc. through these kind of example. Always give them concrete example. It's important to follow the CPA approach, which is the concrete, pictorial, and then comes to the abstract approach. So next, going ahead, I think we need to do more activities, right? So this is something which you can do. You'll have children running around. And this is another example I keep telling teachers wherever I go for training, saying that math need not have to be a silo. You don't have to silo math. While you're doing math, there is a lot of language combination. Here, the children are getting familiar with newer words. Their vocabulary increases. Their spellings for those particular words increases. They will ask you, you know, okay, give me a big word, Mama. I want to find out the fraction of that particular word. So there are various possibilities where you can incorporate language. And as I go today, you know, go into many other examples, I will tell you how you can incorporate other subjects too. So this is one where you can incorporate language into it. And now let's look at one more. I do see a few of the parents have their children also in the session. So it will be great for you to start off with these exercises with your children and tell them, okay, look at your superhero. You know, what's your favorite superhero? Let's find out whose fraction of bubbles is greater than the other one in comparison, etc. So the next one is my favorite, and I call it the MasterChef. So your little ones, in fact, these are examples which I have done it even in schools while I have been a teacher. I've also advised teachers when I've been in the training to do this as various activities, either as a formative assessment, or you can actually have it as the end of the session, culmination into understand. Of course, you can do it at various levels of difficulty. It all depends on the age. And here I have, your little ones become the master chef. So give them a chef hat and they wear that. And, you know, say today you're going to be in charge of the breakfast. and say yes, for let's make an open sandwich. So they're given a bread and they'll have to make an open sandwich. The options are, obviously we are trying to bring in math here and say, yes, I have certain vegetables here. I have some cheese slice, I have some paneer or the cottage cheese here. I also have Nutella here. So now I want 5 ingredients on my sandwich such that I have 3 by 5 of it being vegetables or the veggies. I want 2 by 5 of it being milk products. I'm repeating, you can give the child saying that, you know, you are the chef and you have to give me the breakfast and come on, let's have 3 by 5 of my open sandwich. It need not always have to be a sandwich. It could be a pizza. It could be a roll. It could be anything as a variation. I'm picking up the open sandwich example and say 3 by 5 of this particular open sandwich that I'm going to eat, I want veggies. I want 2 by 5 of it being milk products. So then the children will say, okay, mom, I have options for you for the veggies as I have some cucumber, I have some tomatoes, I have some bell peppers, I have some lettuce. So what would you like? You can choose any 3 options. And then the children will start making that open sandwich and say, okay, 2 by 5 of the milk products, mom, I have cheese and I have paneer, and those are the 2 options I'm going to give you. And then make it. Or alternatively, what you can do is you make the open sandwich, give it to the child and say, come on, tell me what fraction of the sandwich is veggies or what fraction is it. You know, you can have the combination. You can have multiple toppings that you want to plan out here. I've just put up a few of them. You can have multiple options and say, do not limit only to what are they veggies, etc. You can look at a combination of what color. For example, you can have 3 by 5. So I've taken it up to the next slide where I said, as post this particular session, we are also going to share with you a document where all these things are given in pointers for you. Though you're all making notes, we also wanted to give you some documents so that you have as a follow-up, what is it which we discussed in the workshop. And we've also added this particular segment where we said you can try these combinations with your children, either as an open sandwich or as a pizza base or whatever you have at home, because today we are in the lockdown stage. You may not have things which you would ideally want them to try out with, but whatever is available at home, please do make sure that you try this out. So you can create these following combinations. I want an open sandwich with 3 by 5 of the sandwich being green color. I want 2 by 5 of it being the milk products. Or I need a pizza with 3 by 4 being veggies, which means I'm just going to have 4 of those toppings available for me to put. Something like a Subway where you choose what toppings you have and you have a limited number here, say 4. And Suresh, I know you have raised your hand. Can you just wait for a minute? Can I finish this and then take it through, Suresh? Because we have a short term. I'll definitely finish the session and take up some questions if that's okay with you, Suresh. So we have pizza, which is, you have 3 by 4 of them veggies and 1 by 4 of it being cheese. You have the open sandwich, maybe you can say 1/3 color being red, 1/3 being brown, 1/3 being green. Options are multiple.
Do it tomorrow, is it okay?
Pardon? I'm sorry, I think somebody's microphone is on there. Okay, so these are the various combinations. What we would like and request you as parents to do is try this out with your children, and maybe you can click some pictures or videos and you can post it on Instagram or Facebook and tag at @mylumaworld, because we can have a look at it and we can give you more ideas. So I'm saying that, wow, this is a fabulous thing. We can share it with other parents too, saying that, this parent and their children tried out this particular thing, which is something different. It may not have to be only these. You can give your own combinations and say, ma'am, with the lead that you have given, we've tried to see and make it more innovative and we have done this. We're more than happy about it. You can do that, or you could also email the pictures or the videos to us and the link is given there. Again, a document will be shared with you. All these details are given to you on that. So this was something about fractions that I did. And next one which you can do, if you've seen that all these activities that I've said are all family games. We strongly believe in the family bonding. And now is the time when you have a lot of parents saying, ma'am, I don't know how to keep my children occupied. And that's the reason why we started out this series. We said that, okay, let's understand, okay, how we can help out with providing a few of this. See, half an hour session, 40-minute session is not adequate enough to give you a lot much more, but at least this will be somewhere where we can start with. So we said we'll put together, so family bonding, family time, making family time more joyous, making family time learning, and learning through fun is being the motto that we actually want to take forward, and all parents to follow it through. We have the fraction Pictionary, which is, again, you have different cards like 4x9 of a football team, 3x8 of a stop sign. You have these cards which you make. Again, this will be something which we will share with you in terms of ideas. You can make many more, and your child will come and pick up a particular card and draw that without writing 1x2 or 3x4. She may just draw a window and shade one portion of the 4 portions. And then you will guess, okay, it's 1/4 of a window, for example. So things like this is something which you can do, and you can do it with, you can make children actually make these cards and then have it as a lovely game with the entire family. Going forward, data handling is one topic which I've always felt that we need to give a lot more importance. It's very important because children learn to organize the data, they learn to represent the data, and they learn to interpret the data. When I'm talking about this, this looks very, too much of jargon and very abstract. I need to give you examples. So let's go to the next slide. This is a fun activity which your family will have. All the family members will run around for say 5 minutes and collect 25 objects which are around. So they just run around. You will have the father running around in one direction, mother loves to go into the kitchen maybe and pick up a lot of things. The child will run into the bedroom and open up his drawer and pick up a lot of things. It could be anything, 25 different things. And after that 5 minutes is over, set the timer and then you get back to the place where you all initially started. And now say, okay, yes, now what we need to do is, what we did was, if you've seen on the right hand side, we looked around, we have gathered it. Now we need to line them up. So when I place the object that I have brought and I kind of trace it out, what is the shape that it comes to? Does the shape come to a circle, a square, a rectangle, or a triangle? So ask them to keep it and then kind of, understand, okay, what is it which if I trace it out, that particular shape will come to. I've just given you these 4. It could also be maybe a hexagon and something else also. You could add your own columns there, and they place all the items there. And here they are going to line it up and now count and say, okay, yes, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the objects that I've collected of the total. Assume it is 25. So of the total of 25, 5 of these objects are circles. They will analyze saying that I think I have less number of triangles in what I have collected because I only have 3 portions of the total that I've collected. They will analyze this and start comparing. Oh, dad doesn't have anything which is circular. Okay, mom has all the things which are triangular. That's amazing. She is leading in the triangle section. So there is a lot of comparison. Not only are you doing data handling, but you're also connecting it to fractions. So there is a lot of cross concept learning that you can actually do with this. And this is a fun activity which I've seen parents running around when I do these in the workshops. We have parent-child workshops too. They run around and pick up things which are there in the workshop room. So many a times I don't know how many things are there in my workshop room until and unless I have all these be collected and brought to me. It's a fun event that I have there. Next is, yes, come up with a survey question. For example, what's your favorite color? Is it red or blue? So they can go around asking everybody at home, and we obviously now you cannot send them out to take a call or a survey question. They can just pick up the phone and ask, what kind of questions do we have, and what are the answers, and let them represent it in the form of a data table, either in the form of a tally graph. I've given you an example of a tally graph, and this. We are going to run short of time, and that's why I'm just rushing through, because I want to give you the learning resources that we have also collected for you. So this is a survey which you can come up with various things. What's your favorite ice cream flavor, superhero? So they will understand that data is collected when you ask questions to people. And once they get that particular data, how are they going to organize it? And then how are they going to analyze the data? What is the use of the data? That's very important, because today data science is a subject which is a hot subject, and your children are actually getting used to these kind of things. Going ahead, and this is the last slide that I wanted to explain to each one of you, is there are a lot of learning resources. You have a lot of resources of worksheets, apply books. We also have the print and play board games, which the email ID is given, and of course in the document that I have sent across, which post the session, we'll mail it to you either today evening itself or tomorrow morning, latest tomorrow morning. You will have all these as clickable options, and you can go download these and have fun with your children, because there are a lot of these things, especially the print and play board game is highly engaging. You can try this out, and yes, this was my actual introduction, which I did it in my math introduction style. This is something, yes, been in the teaching domain for a long time. And I have also collated a lot of activities for you as parents, educators, children, etc. to do. You can go on to the YouTube and search for Bhuvaneshwari Raman. There is a lot of YouTube material which is there with various concepts and subjects. You can actually have an idea about that and take it forward. Of course, anything and everything that you do with respect to what we have discussed today, or something more, you could have had your own options and ideas. Please do share it in the link that I had shared with you earlier on. And once again, thank you so much for coming over here, because we have exactly 4 minutes. And let me see if I can just quickly get back to screen. So is there, I'm sure many of you had certain expectations when you came here, and I'm not sure whether you've been able to kind of fulfill all of them, but I do see quite a few questions here. I mean, of course, yes, it's been a good workshop, etc. I would urge that you can actually pick up the email ID that we have shared and say what are the things that you actually liked about this, and feedback on how we can kind of make this better, because it's always important to understand the feedback. This is something from educators' point of view. We thought it would be useful for you, for parents, and the other educators. It will be nice if you can share feedback on saying, yes, was this useful? Is there something else that we can do? And what are the other things? And of course, as I told you, the learning resources that we have provided, because all those are basically all about hands-on learning and learning through play, a family bonding time, lots of activities. The YouTube channel that I told you, you can have a look at that too. Yes, you can email me the questions. I do see Tejasvi write on behalf. Yes. Definitely, Tejasvi, you can email questions to ask. I think that will be better, because I have exactly 2 more minutes to go. So I don't want it to be abrupt where I'm not able to answer the questions. That will be wonderful if you can email, and the email ID is in the document that we'll be sharing it with you. So thank you so much, parents, and I hope it's been useful and fruitful. And we're not going to stop here. We want to meet you once again. So the next workshop that we wanted to do was, because a lot of parents came back saying, can we have workshops for our children? You know, my child who is 6 years old also wants to be part of the workshop. I said, okay, today's workshop is, I think, more related to parents. So the next workshop, we are planning to have it on the 19th, which is a Saturday, at 5 p.m. So that's going to be where you can have the child and the parent too. It's for children in the age group of 4 years to 7 years. I think you, as parents too, you can come in, and what we'll do is we will send you the materials which are required for the workshop. So while we are doing so, that's going to be a hands-on activity based for your children. So let's meet on 19th at 5 p.m. and we do have your details, so we shall definitely take it forward. Yes, I see Pratik has raised his hand. You would like to really attend something related to 5-year-old. Yes, Muskan. This is basically for the 5-year-old is what I'm talking about. The 19th 5 p.m. workshop, it's called an activity workshop. And it's for children from 4 years to 7 years. It doesn't mean that if you have a child who's 8 years, you cannot be part of it. Would love you to be part of it too, because there is always something which you can take it forward as the next layer for that child. So let's meet on 19th, and I hope to hear a lot of feedback from all of you. Thank you once again, I think, to each one of you for taking time out. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye. See you.